So let's see, now we have Grace who's going to tell us something about childhood and plants, gardening.
So when I was in elementary school, we lived outside of Cleveland, Ohio. And I don't know if you all know, but my mother was actually from Mobile here. My father was from Auburn. So, Cleveland was a very different environment. But my mother was also a rose gardener. And the house where we lived in, she had put in one bed in the front. And every year she would order another rose. And these are all hybrid teas. And she would sit there in the winter when it was disgusting outside, and she'd look at the Jackson and Perkins catalog and star roses and decide which rose she would get. And I remember her analyzing it, not just with the color, but what had the scent. Is it a lemony scent? Is it a spicy scent? It was making the whole decision. So I got to know the Peace, the Tropicana, the Mr. Lincoln, all those types. And then she decided to put another bed in the backyard. And this was about a bed a little longer than this table and about 4 or 5 feet wide. And it had to get dug deep. Well, she got my sister's boyfriend to dig it for her. And he was out there digging because my brother wasn't going to do it. And so he went out there, and that's how he earned my sister. They've been married for 50 years.
And a happy ending.
Well, yeah. And so that's why when you started talking about the roses and the scents, and I was like, oh, that whole bit about my mother. Then we moved from Cleveland to Maryland, and it was like, oh, thank God. It was a better climate. We had the Chesapeake Bay there, so we could get fish and crabs and shrimp and everything, oysters. And it was a brand new house, and I think they spent all their money on landscaping. My mother spent all the money on landscaping. And she put in camellias. And then we had this terribly cold winter, and the camellias, they didn't make it. But there were all the roses again. So there was always the roses.